So, it is still September 30th, 2020. I left the jurisdiction of Prela, LA, and I drove to my other jurisdiction, Burger King. I mean, Jesus Christ. Not the building, just the symbolic, vernacular. I mean, for you, all area, downed consciousness. So I had my last conversation. I was curious. I asked, I didn't know they were both named, the gentleman behind the desks were named Tony. Apparently, that's a very popular name. So I spoke to one Tony, who's the younger gentleman, and I asked him about, I said, could you just do me a favor? I said, when exactly did the engines change over from gearbox, whatever it was called, to more of a computerized timing mechanism? And he said, I really want to say somewhere 1988, 89, 1991. He said, you know what, go with 91. I was like, okay. And then he taught me that the proper name is CAM, I guess it would be CAM is what I assumed, and then crank, CRANK. So I don't understand how CAM changed over the crank to the C rank. Right, the C rank. Caesar, right, yeah, Zarina. Yeah, it does start with a C, doesn't it? CZARINA. And then it went to distribution. Oh my, it must have upset my bike people in Holland. But New York runs on a very different House of Pain system. And we were trying not to get the bikers upset with the scary men in whatever, like to argue about everything on my behalf. And we went to distribution, which I said is butane, Butane. And then the older Tony was kind enough to use the proper words of it went from coil, COIL, which I said, every time I hear that word coil, I think of a spiral. Is that a spiral? And he said, no, actually, it has to do with the with an electric system. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to visualize this, right, or picture this. So then I said, he said, but it had a mixture, right? And then actually, then it reminded me. I was like, right, that's when they changed over to a special little cylinder for the aerosol. So it held on longer. So this way, when the spark hit, oh my gosh, it made spark every time in that extra special little chamber that they call fuel injection that holds the vapor, VAPOR, or the other word would be aerosol, ARESOL. I mean, I am Caesar. I own the word, the mechanic, the patent on all of it, and the distribution and chain of command. So where did I lose you? Along the way I have 4 headless horseman fathers. Somewhere between House of Pain, I have La Cosa Nostra, I have La Nazi, I have La Soviet, and then I have Captain America, who's received me, but not to my liking. So I'm sitting in the Mini Cooper, the Italian job, as an American, wondering where I lost useful people around the world. So let's think about this. So then the older Tony, who had mentioned, he's from Yugoslavia, by the way, which I thought was really nice. He used a word, my grandfather from Italy, from Aronsani, the border over by the Dolomiti and La Misurina and Cortina Valley. My grandfather used to use, oh, pici poci. He actually said it, and I go, oh my gosh, I was like, I haven't heard that in so long. And he made me really wonderful espresso. He has a special machine. And I said, it's dark and bitter. It's perfect. Just the way I like my espresso. So let's think about this. I don't like anything too sweet. I don't really use sugar. My personality is kind of the same. Let's think about this. And then the older Tony, as I was leaving, said that my bearing, I don't know if you spell it with two E's or an A, B-E-A-R-I-N-G or B-E-E-R-I-N-G, I'm not sure. He said on the tires are gone or stripped, or they need to be replaced, whichever. I asked if it was a vertical horizon or horizontal horizon, like mechanic. I'm trying to figure out how it all fits together. And then, but that's what's making that sound, which I thought was the engine. He's telling me it was the bearing, so that's wonderful. And then I got to come back tomorrow for the inspection thingy. I have to wait overnight, they said. But also, I have to check my records because the other mechanic that Lewis was taking my vehicle to without my permission, because I was taking it to Minnie directly, and then Lewis took it to some schlock up Korean joint around the corner that I swear every time I went in there it was like $900, $2,000, and the car was never fixed. It was like I was being billed for stuff that wasn't even being done. And then I tell Lewis, and Lewis is like, you're imagining things. No, Lewis, I'm not imagining things. The car feels and sounds just as horrible as when you dropped it off. What did the guy actually, I know he says he charged you $2,000, but what did he actually do for the $2,000, Lewis? The bill's over there, Nicole, you can look. Why should I have to look, Lewis? The car didn't get fixed. This is what I deal with for 42 years. For what? Lewis and my relationship with him and how I speak of him was never going to be acceptable for any of you. It didn't fucking matter. Anthony TEOFRIO, 1975, was never going to be in acceptable linguistics. Doesn't fucking matter. And Jason Peter Romer, 1976, was never going to be an acceptable linguistical male-female interaction. Nobody gives a shit. Because all three of them should have never been in my linguistical log and dialogue for anybody to even fucking question, based on the last stand, last call, and the Federation, for which I am both ZZ and SS, and the fact that I don't have to fucking explain myself to anyone, nor apologize, which I'm not. I am just reporting who needs to be beheaded, and fast, because I'm tired of fucking waiting.